biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone.
Hey, what is up guys, this is BLT Productions here, coming at you with a Division gameplay where we are going to be going over in the Dark Zone to the library where that is said to have some pretty high ranked enemies. I am about to mark it on the map where we are going to go, and there's a pretty intense battle that goes on. During that battle I'm going to be talking about some of the things that you can find in the Dark Zone. Things to be wary about. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool fight. We get some pretty good stuff in the end, so hopefully you guys enjoy the fight and enjoy the video. So one of the main reasons that you'll find yourself going into the Dark Zone is to find Dark Zone loot, and you can find this loot either on dead enemies, other dead players, or in Dark Zone boxes, which are able to be opened with Dark Zone keys, and you are able to find these keys off of like boss-like enemies, which is enemies that are named. So the loot that you get off of dead enemies is pretty rare, and that'll be the main source of Dark Zone loot, and so this is pretty important to pick up. You will see with these other players that after this battle we are going to get some pretty good stuff off of them, because Dark Zone keys are rare within themselves, and so being able to open up these Dark Zone crates is pretty rare. And the other way that you can get the Dark Zone loot is by killing other actual players, and anytime they are carrying a yellow pouch that is going to show up beneath their backpack, that is how you will know that they also have Dark Zone loot, and it will actually be worth your while going rogue. And on the topic of that, going rogue is whenever you not only just shoot other players, but take down a certain amount of their health. And whenever you take down a certain amount of their health, you get about 20 seconds put on you where you have a bounty on your head, and it is called going rogue. Once you actually kill a player, you will have 90 seconds to go before you don't have that bounty on your head anymore. Whenever you have the bounty on your head, any player is able to take this from you, not just the player who you shot. And so whenever you plan on going rogue, you better have a pretty good game plan in the end. You will see in just a second though that at the end of this fight, a guy comes up and takes the very last kill from me, and I was unable to get the loot right away, but we are actually going to be able to hunt him down in the end and turn the tables a little bit. So we were actually able to backtrack from our respawn zone back to this area that we were fighting in, and we are still able to pick up the loot that was dropped from these enemies. And it's actually some pretty good loot that we got in the end, but we did not get a Dark Zone key. I was unable to find one of those during my time in the beta, but I believe that crate right there that I was just in front of is one of the Dark Zone crates that you can open with the keys. I go over to these pouches. This is how you'll be able to know if you have any Dark Zone keys. After I picked up all that loot though, I was out to go get some revenge. I did not come across the rogue player that took me down, but I found some of these others, and I was chasing them down with these other players. We kind of teamed up together and ended up destroying these guys in the end. But this is just an example of how people don't just go after each other and go rogue all the time. It's actually pretty fun to team up with each other and go after other AI enemies to get some more loot, or go after some rogue players and go bounty hunting. After going around with some loot, though, I was going up to go to the extraction zone, and unknowingly ran into some AI that was guarding the extraction zone, and I was pretty surprised, so I wasn't acting the smartest. So I got taken down pretty hard by these two AI guys, with that guy shooting at me in the very top. But we were actually able to go back to this extraction zone. Since it wasn't a player that took me down, nobody knew that my stuff was really up there for, like, up for grabs. So I was actually able to backtrack my way back up and grab all of the loot that I had just dropped after dying. So that was pretty fortunate in my case. But so our goal now is to get rid of all the AI up here that is trying to stop us from extracting, and to try and get our loot out into back to our base of operations. So once we have cleared the rooftops of all the AI guarding the area of the extraction zone, we are gonna go ahead and go over to the point where we can extract our things, call it in with a flare, and a good thing to keep in mind is that these AI are not the last thing that's going to possibly stop you from extracting. In this case, I was pretty fortunate that no other players tried to come up and take my stuff, because once you put that flare in the air, everybody knows that that extraction zone has been activated, and so if other players are looking to grab some loot from other players, then this is a big marker that you're putting on your head for other players to come and take you down and take your loot. But anyways, we got our stuff extracted.
Package is secure.
And
extraction complete.
After all of the stuff that we ran into and the 2 times that we died, we were still able to get our stuff out in the end. So after all those close encounters, I wanted to go and look at all the stuff that I had extracted from the dark zone. So I go into this checkpoint, which is pretty much a bridge between the dark zone and the playable world outside. And in this area, you're able to restock on all your equipment, refilling your ammo and your med kits. It's also where dark zone vendors can be located. These dark zone vendors can also be found in the safe houses that are inside the dark zone. And this is where you're able to spend your dark zone credits. But to find where your dark zone loot is being held once you get it extracted from the dark zone, you have to go back to your base of operations and go into your stash and go over to the far right tab that says extracted, and that is where you will find all of the items that you were able to get out of the dark zone. So the dark zone is not only going to be a great place to find loot, but it is also going to be one of the most intense areas of the game, where you can team up with other players or betray other players and steal everybody's loot. But I can't wait to experience this with everybody, and can't wait for the game to come out. And hopefully this video has been informative for you, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.